I grew up in the country. I had dogs. I was in 4-H and FFA, so I raised goats and sheep. When I was in college, I had a professor that did a lot of research on birds, and so I started doing field jobs in the summer, working with birds. I've always been a biologist, but I've called myself a lot of different things. So I've been a biologist, an avian ecologist, an evolutionary ecologist, an ornithologist. I've kind of like gone different pathways and then come back to biologist, which is what I am now. For graduate school, I actually did my research in Australia, and I studied birds there called fairy wrens, which are these really cute little birds. They're really fun to study. They're really colorful. They're really cute. The males bring flowers to show off for the females, which is really fun. And then I studied them during the non-breeding season, so maybe they didn't have the brightest colors during that time, but they were still really interesting to look at. It's really cool to think about things from different perspectives, especially thinking back to the academic work that I've done, where I was studying breeding behavior and sexual selection. And it's cool to see some of the women in those fields that have kind of asked questions from a different perspective. So instead of just focusing on like what makes these males sexy or what's flashy about the males, like what's going on with the females and what signals do they have or what can we study by looking at them. And I think that's an interesting field where having women kind of look at it from that angle has incorporated a lot of new questions. If you want to do this, then do it. Look for opportunities and ask people for help. People that are in this field do it because they love it and they like talking about it and giving people those opportunities and showing people what's so exciting about it. Don't necessarily feel like once you start down a path that you have to continue down that road. It's not a straight road to any one destination. So I think if you start, with one job and you're like, oh, this isn't really what I want to do for the rest of my life, it's okay to pivot and look for other opportunities or think of other things that would be interesting. Getting as many opportunities as possible and figuring out what you're really passionate about is important.